Marius Reikerås, when did the first alarming signs from Barnevernet came into the public conscience?
I think the crucial year was 2010. I think that when we started to debate this more on social media, I remember specifically that 2010 was a good year because that was the year when Facebook and all the social media really took off in Norway, and people were able to address their issues more directly on Facebook, and of course they got to meet other people who were in the same situation. So to me, 2010 was a really turning point when it comes to being able to address these issues. But of course, in the beginning, we were like people were afraid to stand up because there is a lot of like embarrassment connected to this. Like if your child has been taken by the CPS, you are automatically being posted as a bad parent and so on. So it took some time before people wanted to stand up. But in these days, in 2016, a lot of people are using social media to actually present their cases, and I think that's very good for the democracy. But the problem is, of course, especially in Norway, is that we see from the government that the government wants to carry out more control when all these people are coming out. So you can see from judgments that they're actually using against their parents if they are presenting the cases on social medias like Facebook.
But how long the problems has been present in Norway with Barnevernet?
That must go back in generations, I think. But we established this Barnevernet the way it is today back in 1992, 24 years ago. We also established the county board system, which I think is an illegal. I don't think these county boards comply with the European Court of Human Rights Article number 6, which requires that you put up independent tribunals, whereas these county boards are more like governmental controlled tribunals. So one of my focuses is to try to get rid of these county boards, because I think that these county boards are not giving the fair trial that these people actually have the rights to and the constitutional rights to. So, but back to your question, I think 1992 was in Norwegian history a very important year when it comes to the CPS and the way the CPS is running today.
How many children are being taken per year?
Nobody can give you a specific answer to that because some of the numbers are kept secret. But if there are 1 million children under 18 in Norway, an estimate of about 7 to 8% of the children are under some kind of CPS control, which is quite a high number, of course. We're talking about 60,000 to 70,000 children. And the number is increasing year by year. You can see from the advertisement that the government are looking for more and more foster parents. So it's definitely a system that is, when it comes to the money, the funding projects and the number itself, the number is increasing. But I cannot give any specific numbers because nobody can.
What is the system all about? Is it about money or is it about kind of an ideological problem?
It's of course the concept in itself is in the best interest of the child, which is an international concept. But the thing is that this concept is interpreted differently whether you are in Estonia, Portugal, Italy or Norway. And that's why you have the European Court of Human Rights to try to base out some principal guidelines. But I think that Norway has, maybe UK, but at least Norway has the most strict interpretation of the best interest of the child in the governmental interests. You see, instead of focusing upon the biological family, we have more focus, or the government and the courts have more focus on the government. So that means that what's in the best interest of the child in Norway is more like what is in the best interest of the government. And since we have a system in Norway which has been socialistic funded, we have a system that has put in billions of kroners into the system, and of course it generates a lot of jobs. It's profitable for a lot of people. It's a very good business for a lot of people, of course. So that means that for a lot of people, taking as many children as possible will be to the benefit of the society itself. But it causes like I would say, a split society where you have some people benefit from that system and a lot of people suffering from the system. So you have losers and winners. So it depends what side are you on.
In your presentation, you had a number of children who were died during captivity with Barnevernet. These numbers are shocking, actually.
These numbers are shocking, and these are statistical numbers, actually public available. So these are just numbers that everyone can see. And from 1990 until 2001, you saw that 702 children died under the public control, and those numbers are horrifying. And I think that when these numbers were made public, it's obviously that the government wanted to keep the numbers as they are today in secret, because you don't find these numbers after 2001.
And the causes of death of the children, and how does the official inquiries go?
That's a good question, because these official inquiries are hard for the public to get and to scrutinize. So the problem is that we know about the numbers from 1990 until 2001, and they are, as you told me, shocking compared to the rest of the population. And there are no reason to believe that these numbers are small or no. And I personally know a lot of young people who have died under the CPS system, and nobody takes responsibility for this. Even I will give you an example, because one case that shocked me many years ago was a 16-year-old guy, a boy who died under the CPS system, and of course, his mom has carried out for bringing justice to that case for so many years without even having a chance to get us even a slight piece of justice. And a few months ago, she was charged by the government or the police for bringing insultive comments on Facebook, and she was even given a fine for that. So it seems like some of the problem in Norway is that no one in the official system has to stand responsible for their own actions.
Is this a kind of an immigrant, and especially Eastern European immigrant problem in Norway?
No, not at all. I know there is a lot of focus upon these issues in Eastern Europe. That's why I've been traveling a lot in Eastern Europe as well. But these problems are just as much related to other cultures, and as well as native Norwegians. The thing is that Eastern European countries have been better at providing or attracting information about what's going on. So that's why people think this is an Eastern European issue, but it's not. It relates to lots of cultures, and especially to Norwegians. But since Eastern European culture has been more demanding when it comes to reforming the system, then you have had more focus upon that here.
Does Barnevernet treats equally also the Muslim population in Norwegian?
That's the very good question. I was actually hoping you would answer. I don't think so. I think that we have quite a big Muslim population in Norway. I think we are talking about 250,000 Muslims in Norway. I think that, in my opinion, but this is more or less my subjective opinion, I don't have any data on this, but I think that Barnevernet is more afraid to interfere with Muslim families than European families. That's my clear impression, even though I have been contacted by Muslim families as well. But my clear impression is that they are more careful about interfering with these families, yes, absolutely.
What about future prospects? Are there changes ahead with Barnevernet in Norway?
I definitely believe so, and I am committed to be an optimist since I'm doing the work I'm doing. I think that the positive changes we have seen in 2016 when it comes to the pressure, especially the international pressure, has provided with some already positive results. You can see that the Norra case was solved, and only because of the international pressure. Otherwise, these children would still be in foster homes. There is another Romanian case called the Nan case, which was solved recently. I believe that was also because of the international pressure. So we do see that the judges, as I told, that judges are now being coursed to learn more about human rights, which is, of course, as I told, far too late, but it's better late than never. However, I think that I'm very excited to see the outcome of these cases from the European Court. That's crucial. If the European Court will find convictions of Norway in, let's say, 2 or 3 cases, I will be very satisfied, because that means that there are system errors that have been found to be violating the convention, and I'm positive about that. So when the court has accepted 8 cases, that is a signal that at least some of these cases, there will be found violations in some of these cases. So, and the question then is, what will Norway do when if the court will find them guilty? Will they comply to these judgments the way they have a commitment to do, or will they carry on like before? So, but of course, me personally, I think I see a change already, and I do believe that change will benefit to the people in even a greater extent in the future.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.